Well, there you have it, folks. Another blow for the Republican camp. The tides are shifting and not in their favor. A moment worth noting.
Have also led to political decimation. When McKinley most famously put tariffs on in 1890, they lost 50% of their seats in the next election. When Hot Smoothie put on their tariff in the early 1930s, we lost the House and the Senate for 60 years. So they're not only bad economically, they're bad politically.
And just like that, another one bites the dust. Larry Kudlow out of the equation. Tough break.
So much woo, folks. This is a tough way to end the week.
So markets crash over 700 points today after a bad inflation report, more tariff confusion. Oh, and by the way, Republicans really going to raise taxes? That could have done it. If this is true, this would be among the top 3 dumbest things I've ever heard.
And now, Maria Bartiromo, gone. My God, the house isn't just on fire. The very person confessing to it is the one who doused it in gasoline and tossed out every extinguisher. Absolute chaos.
Futures this morning are indicating stocks will plummet at the opening of trading. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now down 1,000 points. All 3 major indices finished higher earlier before the president spoke and made the announcement on tariffs. Stocks were higher across the board at the close. How investors are navigating markets ahead right now. European markets this morning also in the red, deep declines. Then the FT 100 down 113. But look, at this moment in time, with the market down 1,238 points right now on the Dow Industrials and the NASDAQ down 800 right now, and the market's not even open. Futures indicating a very ugly opening. Now would be the time for some clarity on extending the tax cuts.
Markets were in turmoil this morning after Trump's tariff plan was put in place. And while many were expecting the "it's fine" meme to happen in real time on Fox News, which...
Fox News. Chaotic as ever, though in spurts. One moment they're all in. The next you've got hosts telling retirees to toughen up while their 401ks nosedive. Brutal.
We're continuing to move down. We now have the NASDAQ off 1,000 points, 5.6%. The Dow Industrials are down 1,558 points. By the way, if the Dow goes down 1,712 points, that will put the Dow in correction territory. The NASDAQ already in correction territory with a loss of 1,000 points. Check out the 10-year Treasury yield, please. It's been going down. It's just a tad above 4%, 4.01. Sharp decline in the yield there. The price of gold coming down a little bit from its previous highs, $8 lower at 31.57. Bitcoin, that's not exactly strong this morning. It's at 81.5.
And those 401k people who are depending, those retirees, all of that, just talking plain speak with them. Look, when this nation used to go to war, people in this country would support the war effort with their materials at home and making things for weaponry and all of that. We got to do 100% buy-in over this bumpy period. Just communicate.
Kaylee.
And then there were the guests offering some stellar advice. Just skip vacations this year. Because, you know, that totally fixes everything.
Again, everybody's tightening the belt. Everybody's trying to figure out how to save money here and there, and that's just the natural game. And we teach this all the time on the Ramsey Show.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a roller coaster. You only get hurt if you jump off amid the ride. You know, be smart. If you got to pull back for your vacation this year because times are a little tighter, fine. Save, plan, and you just can't be the sky is falling looking at the headlines every day to decide how I'm going to live life.
But when it was over to professional Trump coddler Maria Bartiromo, it appears that her patience has ran out, and so she demanded some clarity.
But look, at this moment in time, with the market down 1,238 points right now on the Dow Industrials and the NASDAQ down 800 right now, and the market's not even open, futures indicating a very ugly opening, now would be the time for some clarity on extending the tax cuts. So where are you on that?
Well, you know, a lot of people didn't think the House could put the budget instructions together. I do believe that John Thune and the Senate, we're going to get to their budget instructions. And I'm hoping by Mother's Day, we're going to have, that would be the fastest I think we can get there. But we could have a proposal that could be voted on in both chambers. We know there's urgency.
You've had great progress in terms of the price of eggs, but I guess I'm just wondering, is that progress completely, going back to square one with the tariffs coming? I mean, are you expecting retaliation from these countries who are now facing a tariff that they didn't face, just a couple of weeks ago? Are we now going to see egg prices move back higher because of the tariffs?
Well, all to be determined. The president has said that we'll have a little bit of uncertainty in the coming weeks, perhaps a month or two. But, and that's, I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, everything's going to be perfect and the prices are going to come down tomorrow, because this is an uncertain time. But that is the president's genius in all of this. He is the negotiating king. And this is part of the negotiating process. And so ultimately, whether that's in a week, a month, a few months, that all Americans will feel the benefit of this effort that he's undertaken, which God bless him. He's one of the few that's bold enough to do it.
Here's the
Ah, yes. Clarity from an administration that vowed to lower prices from day one, only to preside over an economy where Easter headlines read like a financial horror story.
Instead are overseeing an economy where you'll find headlines like this Easter.
Effectively implementing tariffs while also...
This won't be painful at all for American people and consumers, Caroline?
It's going to be, there's not going to be any pain from the New York Stock Exchange. Big market sell-off. It is ugly out there. The S&P 500 down 3.7%. The Nasdaq's down 4.5%. Not many places to hide in this equity market today. The Dow is down 1,400 points as we speak, as the onslaught of tariffs is announced by President Trump and the administration. Here's the reaction to Liberation Day. Take a look at treasuries. We've got buying of treasuries, as Rick mentioned, yields heading south. Lowest yields of the year here with the 10-year just above 4%, the 2-year yield at 3.7%, as investors digest and process weaker growth on this sort of worse than worst case scenario, as we're reading about, is the reaction to the tariffs, Carl.
You don't believe, though, the theory that it's just about getting rates down? That's really all it's about? Because you've heard it. I'm sure you've heard it. Everybody wants to talk about that.
They're getting the rates down.
That's
it. They're getting the
Burning
rates
down the house to cook a steak. That's the line.
And now, global markets take a hit. Hardly a surprise after President Trump's sweeping tariff announcement. At least 10% on imports, with the potential for much more. The fallout? Economic uncertainty rippling across the world. And as expected, world leaders had plenty to say. Here's how Canada's Prime Minister reacted this morning.
The global economy is fundamentally different today than it was yesterday. The system of global trade anchored on the United States that Canada has relied on since the end of the Second World War, a system that, while not perfect, has helped to deliver prosperity for our country for decades, is over. Our old relationship of steadily deepening integration with the United States is over. The 80-year period when the United States embraced the mantle of global economic leadership, when it forged alliances rooted in trust and mutual respect, and championed the free and open exchange of goods and services, is over. Well, this is a tragedy. It is also the new reality. We must respond with both purpose and force. We are a free, sovereign, and ambitious country. We are masters in our own home. I told the president that I will be working hard for the next month to earn the right to represent Canada in those discussions, to get the best deal for Canada under the new U.S. approach. At the same time, Canada must be looking elsewhere to expand our trade, to build our economy, and to protect our sovereignty. Canada is ready to take a leadership role in building a coalition of like-minded countries who share our values. We believe in international cooperation. We believe in the free and open exchange of goods, services, and ideas. And if the United States no longer wants to lead, Canada will.
The European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that the multi-country trading bloc was ready to respond with countermeasures, while Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the 39% tariff figure that Trump touted for the EU was, quote, untrue, and said that Trump's return to, quote,
the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen wasted no time saying the multi-country trading bloc was prepared to strike back with countermeasures. Meanwhile, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called out Trump's 39% tariff claim on the EU as untrue, labeling his return to 19th century protectionism a not-so-smart move. Because, yeah, Trump and intelligence go together like Elon Musk and a sense of humor.
is, when the hell are you doing my show? I've left voicemail messages. I've sent carrier pigeons. I get no response.
Well, I'll be happy to do your show. I've seen pieces of your show, and it's very funny. Actually, it's my style of humor. So
I don't quite get how that's a compliment for me.
And the thing is, it matters not to guys like Trump and Elon that 401ks are tanking and prices are soaring, because who'll bear the brunt of those repercussions every day? Americans, not the 1%, but the working class. Many of whom, by the way, somehow put their faith and ballot behind a pair of billionaires who have never gone hungry for anything a day in their life and expected them to care.
In every way already, he's been causing chaos to our economy, hurting people. But now this is something like we've never before seen in my lifetime. A president launching a trade war that's going to spiral in ways that every day are going to add costs to Americans. Prices are going to go up. The hardship is going to go up. And maybe he won't feel it, or people like Elon Musk won't feel it, or his cabinet, which is dollar for dollar the wealthiest cabinet we've ever had. They may not feel it. But the families in New Jersey are going to really hurt. The people that have been struggling in this country to make ends meet are going to really hurt.